what's going on, guys? It's Easy. So, just getting my review of the Battlefield Hardline beta out there. I know quite a few YouTubers have posted about it already, but this is just like my thoughts on the game and like where I think they might take it, whether or not I think it's going to be worth buying. This initial cutscene I actually thought was quite cool, because it beats the sort of basic loading screen. This is the PC version. I'm not sure if it's actually available on console because it is a closed beta at the moment. They will be doing an open beta, I think, in the next couple of months. So if you didn't get into the closed beta, then you will actually be able to at least play it before you actually buy it anyway. But yeah, I think this was actually like quite a good idea, just to kind of have a slightly different style loading screen, but it's just sort of cosmetics really more than anything. The deploy screen isn't a great deal different. There is one or two little things added to it, so that's quite cool. You start off with the M16A3, which obviously has single shot and full automatic fire, and the little revolver with the snub nose on it. When you've got it's quite strange how they've done it actually, because they seem to have done it slightly differently to previous Battlefield games, where like when you've got your primary weapon out, you do actually run quite slowly, but then you switch to your pistol and you run like a hell of a lot faster. Whereas in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, even when you had your primary out, you still ran quite quickly. I'm not sure if there was actually any speed difference between your primary and secondary on those games. But yeah, this is Blood Money. It's quite an interesting game type actually. Basically, obviously, you start off, you got 2 vaults, friendly and enemy, and a big pile of cash, sort of like in between the two. And the idea is for you to collect as much money as you can. I think you have to collect something like 5 million before the enemy does. And you can sit there, you can either just like, you've got to obviously hold E, like I said, this is on the PC version. You can either do it just the once, or you can just keep going, and I think you can do it up to 3 or 4 times. As you can see here, I kind of just like keep going for a minute, but then I just get absolutely obliterated by a shotgun, which is hardly a surprise. It is, I would say, a very, very squad-based game type. I quite like the idea of it, because it does give you that sort of like fight over the area kind of thing. It's kind of like an advanced capture the flag sort of idea, but you sort of like, you're not almost capping the flag because you're not having to run right the way across the map. But like I say, it is very, very squad based, because you could have like, if like 4 of you attacked the money drop, then you could basically have one person collecting max while the rest of you defended, and then just swap around, which I think would probably be the easiest way to do it. I'm pretty sure you can hold up to like, I think it's up to about 1 million at a time, and you only have to get to 5 million. You collect each time you complete a collection. I think it's 200,000. So obviously, if you can hold like 5 at a time, it might actually only be 600,000 you can hold. I can't quite remember. The vehicle ranges on it are massive. You have everything from a basic police cruiser to street motorcycles and like, I don't know, is it 100k a time or 200k? I'm not too sure. Like motorcycles, Little Birds, Black Hawks, all sorts of crazy stuff on it. Obviously, because this is just a beta, the weapon selection is quite limited, as well as like attachments and things like that. And I just got completely destroyed. You'll actually see like 2 different gameplays, same server. I just basically just stayed in. I just thought, well, this particular game wasn't very long, so I'll stay and I'll play the entire game again. I am on the cop side both times, and it plays quite nicely. I mean, I wasn't actually playing this with keyboard and mouse. I was actually playing with a controller. Sorry. And I hadn't actually adjusted my sensitivity, so I was turning quite sluggishly. But overall, I think it actually plays. Personally, I think it plays quite nicely. It does play very, very similar to Battlefield 4, I think. But you do have to be careful about how like the players on the enemy team play, because sometimes they just act like complete idiots, as you'll see in the next gameplay, like after this one, the next round. Right here, 1, 2, 3. Could have kept going, but I just got 3 of them. Oh, you can carry up to 500k at a time. You collect it 100k each time. And if you look, it's actually a direct route from the drop right the way back. That was one of the cranes. Levolution is actually in this, just like it is in Battlefield 4. But as you can see, it is a direct line from the drop right back to your little vault truck thing. But you have to be careful, because the enemy can assault your truck and take money out of it. So that they can obviously try and get it back to their vault, and obviously try and beat you. The idea is to obviously beat the enemy team to the maximum amount of money. It is quite a close quarters style thing. The M16 on this feels quite nice. I didn't like it in Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, but in this it felt a little more stable. That might have been because of the attachments or something like that, I don't know. But it seems one thing I did actually notice, it seems that the more you try to grab the money in one life, the quicker it does it. So like if you do one lot and it does it quite slowly, the next time you go at it, it actually does it a lot quicker. Obviously, as long as you don't die in the process. So I thought that was quite a good idea. I actually thought I was going to get blown to bits there, but I managed to survive quite easily. As you can see, my team is absolutely trying to manage to get killed. But yeah, that's the sort of thing like they do all the time. They'll sit there in an armoured SUV, they'll just basically pound away at you with big machine guns and God knows what else. I mean, you'll see in the next gameplay that I just get taken out by vehicles about 7 times. I didn't get many kills overall. I think between the two I only got like 6 kills, but I got a massive amount of deaths. I will be playing it some more and probably doing a lot more recording as well, so eventually I'll probably end up posting like a sort of best bits kind of thing. He should have died there. There's no way he should have survived that, but apparently he had like 1 health left. What else is there? The customized screen is slightly different. I don't think I actually show it in this particular gameplay. I think it's in the next one. The spawn locations are a little bit of a pain. It's kind of done slightly differently to the way it was in Battlefield 3 and 4. But they have kind of redesigned it quite a bit, which is pretty cool. This, I think, was played at full 1080p, because it was like, that's kind of like the default settings, and I was getting a good stable frame rate. I mean, I haven't got an amazing system, and it was running at something like 90 frames per second anyway, and I was easily able to record a solid 30 FPS, so it wasn't really an issue. It's not very processor hungry. It doesn't just like chew up your processor like crazy. Yeah, there you go. First 5 mil. I got 3 kills, 8 deaths there. I think I went like 3 to 14 in the next one, which was for me quite abysmal. I was a little bit gutted, but I think once I get into it a bit more, I'll probably do a little bit better. I might try and get some friends into it properly and record like some actual squad-based play on it, just to see how that plays out, kind of thing. As you can see, the end of round side of it is quite different but similar at the same time. This is obviously the second game that I played. This is a little bit longer. Yeah, I mean, overall I think it's good fun. Do I think it's worth pre-ordering at the moment? Maybe, maybe not. I do find it quite good fun to play, but I think we're going to have to see a lot more of it before we actually kind of look. Right away, I didn't even realise it was a mechanical gun on top, so I just got pounded. But yeah, I think we are going to have to see a lot more of it before we can decide whether or not you should actually pre-order this game. I'm hoping to be playing it, depending on when it's released, because I don't know the exact release date for it, but I'm hoping that before the official release of it, I'll be able to play it at Eurogamer in September. But apparently it is due out in the autumn, I believe, so it may actually already be out by then. Yeah, I just kind of like left the car there. I was like, you know what, I'm virtually here, you can stay there, mate. I thought there was an entrance around this corner, and then realised that there wasn't. That pillar with the scaffolding around it, if you've seen Frankie's video, then you'll know that that basically drops the road. And I thought he was going to absolutely destroy me there. I thought, oh no, I've got away, and then he comes back for me, which is pretty much typical of people in big armoured vehicles, but never mind. Yeah, I mean, I'm personally not going to pre-order the game until I've played more of it and I've seen more of what's going to be available in it. I haven't had a chance to use the grappling hook or zipline yet. I almost did use the zipline in this gameplay, but without realising it, I jumped onto it and then jumped back off it again, so I had to just parachute, which kind of suited me fine. That's the other thing you have to watch out for, is if you are going to run it as a squad base, I'd recommend one of your squad had a nice big rocket launcher, because you end up with enemy armoured vehicles sitting on top of your vault so that you can obviously place the cache. Sorry for the little quiet spots here and there, guys. I've got a bit of a sore throat at the moment and I keep coughing, and obviously you guys don't want to hear that, so I just mute my mic. But yeah, I mean, it's very close quarters. Sometimes you can't really see where the fire's coming from properly, which I found out a couple of times because I was like, where am I getting killed from? When you're attacking the money pile, I would definitely recommend having multiple members with you, just purely because like it just helps defensively. Like going at it alone, you can get attacked from so many directions, and obviously you can only watch one particular direction at a time, so it's pretty difficult to do it on your own. I mean, you can play it one or two ways. You can kind of play defensively, watching your vault while all the members of your squad going to get the money, or you can just attack the money like crazy and just keep going at it, kind of like I do. Mainly because I was playing with nobody that I knew, I wasn't communicating with anybody. I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to keep playing the objective as best I can. But I do quite like the way it plays. I actually get taken out by a sniper and I've got no idea how this guy can actually see me. I'm pretty sure he does take me out in a minute. Nope, no, he doesn't. He was trying to, but he couldn't hit me. He takes me out when I'm in the same place later on. You do have a trunction on this, like pretty much I think right from the start. There goes the crane again. It just kind of like sits there, as well as your secondary, your primary, and I think you also have a knife as well. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we managed to kill each other, which for me is an annoying little thing from kind of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 as well, because you seem to have that in both of those, where you'll get like the first shots into somebody, but you'll just end up pounding so many rounds into each other that you both end up dying. And as much as that seems to make it fair, it kind of makes it a little unfair at the same time, because you shouldn't like kill a guy and then get killed at the same time. So I don't really agree with that, but it's just one of those little things where it kind of doesn't bother me whether it's in or not. this was where I went to use the grappling hook. As you can see, there's a little gun icon just in the corner there. For some reason thought I could get through there and didn't realise I had to go around. There's the truncheon, wouldn't break it so I shot it out. There we go. And what I didn't notice was the sniper on the roof opposite me. I think he was actually set up there for like pretty much the entire match, which was slightly annoying. But here I was trying to like figure out, I'm thinking, why have I only got 3 weapons? Why can't I use a sniper rifle? What I didn't see was the class selection thing at the top. I was also like trying to see if there was any other sights available, whether it be close or medium range. Obviously with it being a beta, you are very limited to what's available to you, but you know, that's kind of understandable a little bit. But then eventually I did kind of realise about the class operator at the top, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, there is a sniper on here. The sniper rifle, it felt, I don't know, it felt a bit weird. But I think that was more because I wasn't used to the game. It felt a lot like the M40 from Battlefield 4, which I actually quite like in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. You do get a pretty crazy ass little like SMG as a secondary though. I suppose a lot of people would probably class it as a machine pistol of some sort, but it's more like a tiny little, I don't know, mini SMG. It's a lot like, I mean, it's sort of like an MP7 kind of thing, so, but, yeah, I kind of decided that I thought, you know what, even though I'm using a sniper rifle and this tiny little SMG, I'm going to go attack the money pile and see what I can do. And the answer being not very much. I actually get taken out here. Look, like, he's firing from there and I just couldn't hit him. And it was like, what? But, you know, obviously there aren't going to be little bugs. It is still a beta. But yeah, overall, do I think it's a good game? Yes, I do. I haven't tried the spray paint thing yet. I haven't even created an emblem to spray yet. But I mean, it could be quite cool. Maybe eventually I will find something. And yeah, there you go, I get taken out by a goddamn helicopter. Oh wow, sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, I think if they made a map sort of similar to this but bigger, so it had to kind of work for it a little more, I think that might be a little better. Because at the moment it's just so close quarters that you only have to run 100 feet and there could be any number of enemies in front of you. And also, like, if they did it on a bigger scale using a much bigger map, then they could do it with like the 32 versus 32 servers, where you could literally just like sort of tag team your way through. So like you have like teams stood like sort of halfway, and as one makes the way back, another one runs forward kind of thing, and do it sort of kind of like a relay, which would be a good way of doing it. It would also make a little more sense for helicopters and stuff if they're doing it over a bigger area, and then obviously you can get air fights against each other and things like that. Yeah, I just kind of stood there. I didn't even see him, and by the time I noticed him, he was already firing, and I was kind of dead anyway. But overall, I do think it is quite a good game. I quite enjoyed it, strangely. I didn't expect to enjoy it because I've seen a couple of videos of it already, and I thought it looked a bit cheap, which to an extent it does seem a bit cheap at the moment. But I think that's just because obviously not everything's available. It's not been polished off or anything yet. So yeah, it's going to be a little interesting just to see where it goes from here. But I do think overall it could be quite a good game. It's going to take quite a bit of work. I managed to spawn right into the middle of a firefight there. which I quite quickly regretted. And I tried to like get behind cover. I didn't realise how close to me the grenade was, but never mind. Obviously, occasionally mistakes are made, but it's just one of those things. You know, and I do think it is kind of a nice change. This guy just kind of planted this helicopter, and I was like, yeah, great. How am I meant to get past it? Well done. Thankfully, I did eventually. So on the wrong side for the button. There we go. It does make a nice change to Battlefield. It's not in like a massively open area with smaller areas inside it. It is a built-up area. It'll make flying helicopters a lot more difficult. And I just think it'll make people rely on the ground more. Like, yeah, there's a lot of high vantage points for snipers, which will probably get quite annoying after a while. But there's also a lot of low ground cover for you to use. I wasn't really taking into account the bullet drop there. I was just kind of aiming and firing, and then I just decided to jump off the building anyway. There you go. This is where I jump onto the grappling hook. Like, didn't even realise, and then jumped straight off it. And I was like, ah, never mind. But I actually landed right on top of the money drop here, which was quite cool. There we go. Down. So that was quite good. I kind of hoped you'd actually be able to like fall through that, but apparently it wasn't quite big enough. So I just had to kind of around. But if you look at a lot of the things, like a lot of the walkways and stuff like that, are ones also used in Battlefield 3 and 4. So, but yeah, overall it's not a bad game. I don't think it's worth pre-ordering at the moment. I think at the minute it'd be a little bit silly to kind of pre-order it, as well as considering that in the UK I believe it's actually priced at £50, which is about $80, give or take, $70 to $80 in the US. And this is quite cool. The actual motorcycle, it moves a hell of a lot quicker than you expect, and it was like, yeah, to take him out with it. Now, theoretically, I should have knocked myself off the bike at least 3 times there, but instead I didn't. I just carried on going, and then got taken out by a helicopter. So, yeah, that's always fun. But never mind. But yeah, I mean, I think as they start to add more to it, it will get a lot more fun. I'm going to keep my eye on it, and if I get any news on it, I will be sure to let you guys know. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been Easy, and I will catch you guys in the next episode.